going to be your senators. They're going to be your doctors. They're going to be your lawyers. They're going to be your police officers, right? Do we get judged right by our police officers?
No, we don't.
Right? What's your nationality, G? You black, right? So that's what I assume too. Black is not a nation of people. Think about it. And my job is to challenge each other to think. Because I'll tell you this, me and you, we the same people for sure. I can look at your phenotypes, you know what I'm saying? I can see the way you move, your rhythm, the way you dance. We the same people. We can look at an African, right? And we know an African from a mile away. They can't dance, the way they walk, the way their head is shaped, the cheek. But other people will see them and say we the same people because they can't see like we see, right? But I can look at you and say we the same people. So if you think you black, right? You've lost your heritage, you lost your true nationality, right? And I think I'm an African American. What does that do for us? It causes division. So now when you seeking a culture, guess what we find? We find Bloods, we find Crips, you know what I'm saying? We find the mob. We see the people outside, you say we attach to the first thing to show us some love, and now we can't unify. Because you think you're a Blood, I think I'm a Crip. You see what I'm saying? Now God always been calling for unity. If we don't know who we are, how can we ever unify as a people? Right? My man, what's your nationality, G? If you,
I'm
energy, see that? See how we different? So look, my man said he black, he said he energy, you know, but who are we? We the Israelites according to the Bible and according to history. We are the one people. Guess what? I don't care what neighborhood you from or what set you throw up. Your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather probably sitting right next to my great-great-great-great-grandfather owning slave ships. And it's called divide and conquer, right? God wrote the Bible. Of course. Hey, look. What do you believe in?
I believe in humanity.
Humanity, right? Humanity. So guess what? You believe in math?
It's real. 1 + 1 is 2.
Who wrote your math book?
Who wrote my math book? A
Yeah.
human.
Huh?
A human.
Exactly. So is the math wrong?
No, the math is not.
The math is right in there, right?
Right,
So look, give me Hebrews 1:1 for my man.
Math is human.
So my thing is to show the people, hey, there's a point where I didn't believe in the Bible either. And the only reason you don't believe in the Bible is because you've never heard prophecy out of it. Right. My job is to show you the prophecy in it, show you God real for sure, right? Watch this.
Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1. God, who at 70 times and in diverse matters spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
So God spake unto the prophets, right? And guess what the prophets did? They wrote it down, right? So guess what? If God told you to write something down, when you do it, so this is how you know God's writing is real, right? Give me Deuteronomy 18 and 21. So now I'm gonna prove some things, right? Hey, look, we not black. We the Israelites. You can't go to the airport and say, give me a ticket to the land of black. You ain't going nowhere. Ain't no such thing as that. You can't say, let me get a ticket to the land of energy. Because your nationality go back to a land, to a man, to a tribe. Those things been taken away from us in slavery. Yeah, they do. Why are you shaking your head no?
I'm not oppressed.
Huh?
I'm not a slave.
My man said he's not a slave. That's cool. It's stages to slavery, right?
That's
First
right.
and foremost, you go through chattel slavery, right? And then you go through Jim Crow. And then so you don't end up taking your place back, they want to act like nothing ever happened so they appease you and give you a job and you think you're not in slavery no more. When you pay taxes to your enemies, right? Watch this. Oh, and guess what? Those stocks, right? You got to pay taxes, right?
We all gotta pay taxes.
Yeah, we all got to. But are you paying taxes to your people or another people?
I'm paying taxes to help build these roads.
These roads, right?
And help
Hey,
them-
guess what?
help the
Who
life.
owns these roads right now?
The state do.
And who owns the state?
The government owns the
Who
state.
owns the government?
The people that own the government.
And who is that? What nationality of people?
I don't give a fuck.
Hey,
I
it's
don't
probably the people that took you in slavery.
That's
The
right.
same people that made you build these roads for free. Now you paying for the roads to drive on.
That's
Right? So give me Deuteronomy 28:48. Because we talking about prophecies. We identifying the people, who we are, right? And the same thing he said, right? Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies.
God said the Israelites was going to serve their enemies. Did we serve our enemies? We served our enemies in slavery, right? Yes, we did, right? Read on.
Which the Lord should send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
Anything you want in this life, you got to go to your enemies for it. So look at this. When we was on a slave plantation, right, and we was picking cotton for 18 hours a day, you think me and you could just go in the big house and get a glass of water? Or we had to ask our enemy for that? What if we got extra hungry and took an apple out the basket? You be swinging from this tree in 2 hours.
That's
You know what I'm saying? You got to go to your enemies for that food.
That's
And guess
right.
what? Bring it up to today. This store is owned by who? Black people? White man, Arab man run this. Kroger's, Food Co. Everything, your enemy, you want a driver's license? He got to issue it. That's permission from another man to say I get to drive a car, right? Let's say I know how to fix a car. I still got to go to his school and get a certificate for him to stamp it and say, now I can fix a car. You got to go to your enemies and one of all things, read.
And he
And that enemy,
shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
God said your enemy was, you were going to have to serve him, and that enemy going to put a yoke of iron on your neck. Did this happen to us in slavery? Just like the Bible said?
That's right.
So far the Bible is right, read.
That's right.
You know?
Until he have destroyed.
We was going to be put in slavery and chains until we destroyed, right? Now, how are we destroyed? Hosea 4:5. Let me show you how we destroyed, what the Bible say. He said you was going to have a yoke of iron on your neck until, meaning they was going to come on, until he destroyed you. So you take a dog and you train him. You put a leash on him. When he bites, you yank that dog up, you pop his nose, right? But when that dog don't bite no more, you can let the leash off. You see that? But he'll bite another dog. But he ain't going to bite master no more. So when we destroy it like that, he take the yokes of iron off. Watch this.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 5. Therefore shall thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall within.
4 for lack of knowledge?
4 and 6.
Yeah. Give me what you got.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
So God said, my chosen people, they destroyed for lack of knowledge. The Bible said earlier in the curse, your enemy was going to put you in a yoke of iron until you was destroyed. So now you don't got the knowledge. We don't know our nationality. You know what I'm saying? I bet you these sisters will say a different thing than you. What's your nationality, sis?
Say what?
What's your nationality?
Other.
See? So my man said black. You say other. How can we unify if he a black man and you are other? And I'm a real nigga, and he an African American, right?
That's what they told me. If you look up the word black, he'll know that it doesn't say human.
Right, so guess what? We got to come back on the same page. Who does God say we are? Right? Give me Deuteronomy 1 and 1. I'm going to show you who God say we are. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Unto all who?
All Israel.
All Israel, right? Give me verse 28-37. The book of Deuteronomy is written to Israel. Here go a curse that would be written to the Israelites. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. If thou should become an astonishment and a proverb.
God said the Israelites is going to become an astonishment, right? So when the other nations see us, they see us shaking our ass on TikTok, Facebook, right? That's an astonishment. God's chosen women is shaking their bun for likes, right? Hey, we astonishment because me and you can walk each other, we can bump each other, and then it's a fight happen, and a shooting happen because we stepped on each other's shoes. You see what I'm saying? That's an astonishment. How can we ever rule the world if we can't get along together? You know what I'm saying? Now guess what? It's and a proverb and a byword. That means something outside of your God-given name. So instead of calling you Judah, Benjamin, Levi, I'm going to take you into slavery, and I'm going to call them Negro now.
That's right.
And then when they start looking for their nationality, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to call them colored.
That's right.
And then I'm going to call them black. And then I'm going to make them a P, and I'm going to call them African American.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? How come they keep changing your name over and over and over? Because there's something special about you that they don't want you to know. And if for some reason they used to kill you for reading the Bible, right? Because the Bible identifies you as a people, right? Give me that Leviticus 26 and 17, right? So we read in curses, identify the people, and then we get the fix. How do we change it? Because God wants rulership for us. He don't want us to walk and be equal to people. He always had rulership for you, right? Watch this.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 17. And I will set my face against you.
God said I'm going to set my face against you, mean I'm going to turn my back on you for a time, read.
And ye shall be slain before your enemy.
God said you're going to be killed in front of your enemies. Trayvon Martin, killed in front of our enemies, right on camera. You know what I'm saying? Alton Sterling killed in front of our enemies. Mike Brown, just like the Bible said. Read on.
They that hate you,
The people that hate you, read,
shall reign over you.
they're going to be your rulers. They're going to be your school teachers. They're going to be your doctors. They're going to be your lawyers. So far, the Bible right.
That's right.
The Bible is absolutely right. Read on.
Ye shall flee when none pursueth you. And if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more.
God gonna continue to punish us 7 times more until we start to hearken unto him. You see that? Give me Hosea 5 and 15. So now I want to give us the reason why. How do we get to the bottom of society? And you go to Chicago, we on the bottom. You go to Florida, we on the bottom. We in the ghettos in the hood. You go to Texas, we in the bottom in the hood. No matter what city we at, we on the bottom in the hood.
That's right.
The majority. You see that? Read what you got.
Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
God said, I'm going to go and return to my place until we acknowledge our offense. What did we do so wrong to God? Read on.
And seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
So while they're being afflicted and being destroyed by their enemies, that's what's going to make them seek me early. That's what's going to make them seek me early. Give me Zechariah 11 and 5. Right? So that's why you continue to see these. The next time you see something like this, you're going to be like, oh, that's God afflicting us. He wants us to come back and return to him, right? Read what you got.
Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Who possessors slay them.
Our possessors, our slave masters, they slay us. Read.
And hold themselves not guilty.
What they do?
Hold themselves not guilty.
So they killing us on camera and they holding themselves what?
Not guilty.
Is the Bible right or wrong? That's happening. Our possessors is killing us. Young black men is dying for getting pulled over for a traffic stop. And our enemies getting held not guilty. God said, I'm going to go return to my place till they acknowledge their offense, right? So what does God want us to do to turn it around? Because we got in this position by not listening to God, right? So how do we turn it around? What you think? Start to listen to him.
That's right.
Right? So let's get there. Give me Deuteronomy 30 and 2. How you doing, my sis?
How you doing, brothers?
How you doing, sis? So what we doing? We just went over some curses, right? We identified the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American as the children of Israel, right? What's your nationality? What would you call yourself?
I consider myself a black woman, but I know that I'm a part of the 12 tribes.
Yeah. So you knowing that. So she said, you said you a black woman, right? There's no such thing as black as a nation. Okay, so we got to come back to...
I'm a Negro woman.
Yeah, and that's probably even worse. What's Negro? You know what I'm saying? That's a name given to you by your oppressor, right? So now we got to come back into our knowledge. Who are we? What does God want us to do? We the Israelites. My man know he an Israelite, right? So now give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Let's see what God's saying to us. What's the message that God got for us? Right? Why are we out here preaching to the people? He wants change from his people. He wants unity from his people. And we cannot unify if we don't know who we are. Right? Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel,
You Israelites, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, read.
what do the Lord thy God require of thee?
What does he require of us? What does he require of us? Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God and to walk in all his ways.
So first and foremost, we got to fear God, right? You fear God? You fear God? You fear God? Why you fear God? Because he created everything, right? And guess what? In church they say God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. But if that's the truth, then why would we fear somebody that ain't never gonna punish us? So they got us not fearing God. They got us fearing the devil more than God. So we got to learn to fear the Most High. He the one doing everything, right? Read on.
And to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments.
To do what?
To keep the commandments.
So guess what? If we fear him, if we love him, if we serve him, it's all summed up by saying, keep the commandments. You see that? see that? So now, some commandments that we, watch this. Here go a commandment. Imagine if we kept this one, right? Leviticus 19 and 16, 17, right? Imagine if we just kept this one commandment that God gave us, right? How would it fix the black community, Hispanic community? Watch this.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
So we're not supposed to hate our brother in our heart, right? So do Bloods hate Crips in our heart? Yeah, we do, right? We hate each other in our mind, right? For no reason. God said we're not supposed to do this. So if every black man just applied that, and say, you know what? I don't care where you're from, I can't hate you. What would that do to gang violence? It'd be over. You see that? We'd be getting along, read on.
And not suffer sin upon him.
And I'm not supposed to allow my man to sin, right? So guess what? They say snitches get stitches. But the Bible says we're not supposed to allow our neighbor to sin. So if I see a pedophile in the neighborhood, I ain't supposed to be like, oh man, as long as he ain't touching my kid. Guess what? He gonna destroy the whole neighborhood like that. He gonna be hanging out at the middle school, hanging out at the high school. You know what I'm saying? But if I tell that man, if I correct him, I say, hey man, get up out of here. We don't allow that up here, man. We don't do that over here, right?
That's right.
Hey, it ain't no snitches get stitched. I don't allow my neighbor to sin. Huh? Exactly. That's heavy. What we ignore, we empower, right? So if I see, let's say, I see my sister, right? She come in the neighborhood and she got booty shorts on and her titties out, right? Young 16-year-old girl. If I look at her and I go, I'm giving her approval. But what if all the men over here say, girl, get your little ass in the house like that. We don't play that. That ain't cute. Would she feel comfortable coming out here like that? No, she wouldn't. What would that do to the prostitution out here? It'd be gone. What would that do to the whores and the whoremongers?
That's right.
Leviticus 19:29. The Bible has been real ever since, but we don't follow that instruction, right? So God gonna give us some instruction on that. The way our women dress, right? Look what happened to the land. Watch this.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
So we're supposed to marry our daughters off, not prostitute them off, right? So a woman in the Bible is supposed to have one sexual partner, her husband, right? So when she got a boyfriend, guess what happened? She probably not gonna marry her high school sweetheart, right? They're gonna break up, and then guess what she gonna get? Another boyfriend. Now she got 2 bodies, right? They probably not gonna work, and now she got 3 bodies. Now she don't want to be in a relationship, and she used to sex, so now she's just having casual sex, and she become a whore. You see that? God said we're not supposed to do that to our daughters. Read.
Lest the land fall to whoredom.
What happened to the land?
Fall to whoredom.
The land ended up falling to whoredom. So now, woman don't want no husband, man don't want no wife. We already getting what we want from each other. And now the land falling to whoredom. The land falling to whoredom, right? Would you say that's going on in our community? The land is falling to whoredom. Is people getting married out here, blacks, Hispanics, and natives? Are we getting, as a whole, right? Is it cool to get married nowadays?
Depending on who you asking.
Depending on who you asking. That's why I always say as a whole. Look at as a whole.
It depends on who you asking though, bro.
Okay. Let's ask our children, right? When we look on MTV, when we look on MTV.
You can look on Sims. They got Sims going. They got 9 different families on Sims. Some of them get married, some of them not. They got this family on Sims who get married and then they run off and live their life.
Computer game, right?
Yeah,
on the computer game, right?
Me?
And you could be, that's white people, Chinese people, everyone. I'm talking about the black community.
Okay.
Black, you and me, right? So guess what? When we look on MTV, are they promoting marriage or are they promoting love and hip hop?
They promote
Huh?
Lust.
They promoting lust, right? It's no order in that. They not promote. They promoting promiscuity, right?
Degradation.
Huh?
Degradation.
Yeah, and we steady falling. The Bible say the land fall to whoredom like that, right? So that's why you don't see nobody. Hit me up on call the flyer, all right? Yep. The land fall to whoredom like that, so we ain't getting married no more. The women treat men like the men used to treat the women. And then the men just ain't even dealing with the women like that. Now you got a lot of homosexuality going on. Women looking on women, men on men, right? The land fall to whoredom like that, all because of the way the women dress and what we accept, right? Because guess what? The man sell the drugs to get the rims to impress the woman. You see that? So guess what? If it ain't nothing but hoes out here, guess what? We all chasing the hoe. Even the good girl got to dress like a hoe to get a man nowadays. You see that? But we got to come back to God full-heartedly. And then he turned us back around. Give me that Deuteronomy 30:2. We got to come back to God full-heartedly because we don't know our nationality no more. We don't know who we are no more. We destroyed as a nation. And God said, when in your affliction, you're going to seek me early. Y'all ain't tired of this? I'm sick of it. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 2. And shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day.
So we're going to return to God, right? And we're going to obey his voice just like he had written we was going to do. That's why you see your men over here with the fringes. They growing their beards out. We getting married. You see what I'm saying? We returning to God just like it said. Read.
Thou and thy children.
So I'm going to learn God's laws and I'm going to teach them to my children. Read.
With all thy heart and with all thy soul.
With all my heart and all my soul. Read on.
That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
Once I do that, God gonna turn our captivity. So we was the tail, now we the head. We was on the bottom, now we on the top. All because we kept God's law. It said, I'm gonna learn them, then I'm gonna teach them to my children, right? So go back to Leviticus 11 and 16, and you can cut that now. It's been more than 10 minutes. All right, cool. So guess what? It said, I'm gonna learn the commandments with all my heart, with all my soul, then I'm gonna teach it to my children. How you doing, sis? Listen to this commandment. You got to do it. Then you got to teach it to your child. Watch this.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
So guess what? I can't hate you in my mind. I don't know you from Adam right now. But guess what? I don't care what set you from. I don't care where you was born at. I don't care what you represent. God said I cannot hate you in my mind. And you can't hate me in your mind. So if you don't hate me and I don't hate you, are we ever going to fight? No, we not. Guess what? If I love you, am I ever gonna steal from you? No, you ain't gonna steal from me. It ain't no reason for us to argue and fight, right? Now guess what? When you teach that to your son in your house, right? And I teach that to my son, when they play at the playground together, are they gonna fight and argue or are they gonna get along?
They gonna try to get along.
Yeah, regardless of where they from. You see that? Because we keeping God's laws, right? Read on.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
And not allow each other to sin. So guess what? If you was looking out for me, say, hey, don't go in there and don't steal that, you're going to get 5 to 10. Is my son going to jail? No, because my man looked out for him. My son might need $50. You say, man, don't go up in there. I got $50 for you. Take your little ass home. If we looked out for each other like that, we wouldn't allow each other to sin. What would happen to the prison population? It'll go down just off applying this, right? Read on.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
I'm not supposed to have vengeance or bear grudge against the children of my people, right? So, I might be from the neighborhood on the east side. You might be on the neighborhood on the west side. Your cousin probably killed my uncle. My uncle probably killed your cousin. But when we come back to this, it says we can't bear grudge with one another. And we can't, what did it say? Read it again.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
No vengeance and no grudge. Most of these gang wars is going on because a murder happened 10, 20 years ago. Bearing grudge with another. And vengeance going back and forth, right? So if black men, Hispanic men, Native American men applied this one law, what would happen to the gang violence in our neighborhood? It'll go down. Because we can't do that. We can't deal like that. So guess what? You teach your son, right? Not to kill my son. I teach my son, don't kill your son. And now you can let your kids go out and prosper out here. Right now, we're scared to let our kids go outside. You teach your daughter not to fight my daughter. I teach my daughter not to fight yours. How our neighborhood gonna look? It's gonna look right. Then we're gonna start to prosper. You see that? That's just off one law. Read on.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's how you love your neighbor as yourself. You look out for them. You correct them. You don't bear grudge against them. You don't get vengeance on them. You destroy the gang violence. You see what I'm saying? You stop the prostitution in your neighborhood. It take the men to do that. It take us to start that, and the women go follow. You see that? So now, give me Deuteronomy 22 and 5. So now I'm going to give a law to the sisters, right? So how would this, watch this. Watch what the Bible say. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Women are not supposed to wear what belongs to men, right? What do women wear commonly today that belong to men? Huh?
Suits.
Suits? Yep.
Pants, man.
Yeah. So guess what? They got suits for women, but what's the man suit? What they call it? You said it.
What, pants?
The pantsuit,
Right.
right? So guess what? Women not supposed to wear pants. God is not down with that. You see what I'm saying? Pants in the Bible is for men. You know that? Have you guys ever heard that before? You heard that? You ever heard that before, sis?
Well, not in church.
Not in church.
No, I never heard about that at all.
Okay. Well, we learning about it today, right? Read on.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Man ain't supposed to put on a woman's clothes either, right? You heard that? So, what's the one rapper just came out on stage with a purse on?
All of them.
All of them, they doing that now, right?
Uzi
Vert did that, right? God said we're not supposed to do that. But Hollywood is okay with that. You see what I'm saying? And if you want some money, they're going to make you put that dress on. They're going to make you go into sin, right? Read on.
For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Everybody that do that is an abomination to God. Abomination is hateful, right? So if a woman got on pants, God looking at you hateful. You see that? Do you want God to look at you hateful? No way, right? You want God to look at you hateful? No way. You remember he said in your affliction you're going to seek him early? So that's going to cause you a lot of curses until you say, damn, God, what am I doing wrong? Why am I getting all this affliction? And then you read about, oh, I've been wearing pants, something little like that. Something simple like that. Because if you don't change your dress code, something outer, how you going to do the harder thing, which is love your neighbors yourself? You know what I'm saying? How can I trust you with the keys to my house and I let you borrow my car and you trashed it? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you the small thing first, and if you can take care of that, then you can do the big thing. So if you can't do something easy like change your attire, you ain't gonna do to love your neighbors yourself, for sure. You ain't gonna stop yourself from coveting your neighbor's wife, because you so selfish. We so selfish as a people. You know what I'm saying? All the songs is talking about we wanna mess with your baby mama, and I got your baby mama there. We don't want our own wife. You know what I'm saying? Now look at the trick bag. If I take your leaders, right? You remember Muhammad Ali? They put him on TV, and he was talking about uplifting black people. And same thing with I think it was Jackie Wilson. He did the same thing back in the 70s, late 60s. And guess what that did to the streets? We was ready to fight. We was marching. We was standing up saying we black and I'm proud, right? But now they said, look, when you see what happened to the black people when we uplifted their celebrities? Now let's take their celebrities. Let's take the worst of the worst, right? And let's put them on TV. Let's take a sexy red and make her shake her little ass on TV. And now guess what that do to the kids? They follow. You remember Odell Beckham? You remember he put the blonde in his head? All the little high school kids have the blonde streak now after that. You know what I'm saying? But what they didn't know, give me Leviticus 19 or Exodus 13 or Leviticus 13:29, right? So Odell Beckham, he put the blonde hair in his head, right? All the kids followed along with it. This is crafty counsel to keep the children of Israel in sin. Watch this.
Leviticus chapter 13 and verse 29. If a man or a woman have a plague upon the head or the beard.
We're talking about a plague in the head or the beard. Read.
Then the priest shall see the plague. And behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair.
What's the plague?
A yellow thin hair.
A yellow thin hair on the head or the beard. Read.
Then the priest pronounce him unclean.
So now, is blonde hair clean with God or unclean? Unclean. So if I want to keep the children of Israel in sin, I'm gonna take one of their celebrities. I'm gonna give him a lot of money for running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Something not important. And I'm going to put him on TV, and his influence is going to destroy all the other kids. Now our kids walking around here with unclean hair.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.